Marcus?
Despite him saying, hey, look, I am going to help Jordan Love out as much as I can, you know, relative to what I need to do myself here to get us to play winning football. But make no mistake about it, this is a guy who is on a mission. He's a guy who has a lot to prove. He hears all the talk about could he be turning down. You saw him represent that interview. This is a guy who very much still has a lot of edge. Depending upon how he finishes up this season, I would try to see him make a strong run for MVP. But Patrick is just on a. I mean, I think I've run out of superlatives really to talk about his play at such a young age and still at the infant levels as far as his career is concerned. But this young man is just different, man. He just is, and it's not hype. You're seeing improvement week after week. And Stephen A., some of those numbers you pointed out as far as the number of 400-yard games and how consistently he is just putting up number after number after number. With I don't care what weapons he has. We're in for a treat for a long time because Andy Reid is not going anywhere in the foreseeable future. Brett Beach, the general manager, is not going anywhere in the foreseeable future down there. This team is loaded, and they're going to be around for a long time. He's going to win a whole bunch of MVPs in Kansas City.
I agree. I think Patrick Mahomes, as I said, is the best player I've ever seen at the position. But I think he passed Aaron Rodgers for that distinction in my eyes. Guys, I put my eyeballs on by a hair, by a very little bit. There's really nothing on the field Mahomes does that Rodgers can't do. I think Mahomes...
It's Aaron Rodgers because Mahomes got better wide receivers.
...galvanizes the troops and all that. But guys, we're not asking for a prediction of who's going to win it this year. We're not talking about who's the best we've ever seen. We're talking about right now. And it's very tough to make the argument for anyone other than Rodgers when, given his weapons versus Mahomes' weapons.
Yeah, see?
Rodgers has the higher QBR, the higher completion percentage, more touchdowns, and fewer interceptions. Very, very tough to make that argument. If they switch teams, do you think the Chiefs would be any worse?
No, you shouldn't be making the argument. You shouldn't be making
I
the
should.
argument. Molly T, this is when I get upset at you, Molly. Because this man, how many years has this been? How many months, I shouldn't say years, how many months has Max Kellerman been sitting here when we make the argument about the basket of weapons that Patrick Mahomes has compared to everybody else?
It's
how
hot.
many days, how many weeks,
it's
how
hot.
many shows has Max sat up there and shot?
He's so smart.
It's Kylo.
Because of the very reason he's now trying to give
You smart.
You
smart.
Max?
Smart.
Wait, hold on. Max, you love Patrick Mahomes.
I love you, Kylo.
You think Patrick Mahomes should always win MVP. Stephen A's right. But Stephen A.
It's Papa.
I'm disappointed in you. What happened to that bad man?
It's hot.
He jumped off the bandwagon. So both of you. I'm disappointed in both of you.
Molly, this is what I'm saying. Stephen A. is getting on me. He said that everyone else is pointing out the weapons. By the way, it wasn't that close when Mahomes was like, that's not the time for the argument when Mahomes got the best numbers across the board, right? I'm saying when it's close, when Rodgers has better numbers. Now you can point to not only does Rodgers have better numbers, but he doesn't have the weapons. Meantime, Stephen A. Smith, when you hear that bad man, that's Stephen A. Smith talking about Aaron Rodgers. It's one of the famous phrases in American life right now. And his guy has the best numbers in the league. He's arguing for
but I don't get a chance to respond to your nonsense. Lewis, I apologize that you have to be here to listen to this because you got better things to do with your time than listen to this nonsense. But just for clarification, Molly, I've never deviated from him being the bad man. What we're talking about is as of right now, based on the performance thus far, it being nip and tuck. I'm the guy that always talks about Aaron Rodgers. This guy, not to say that he doesn't talk about Aaron Rodgers, because he does rave about Aaron Rodgers as well. I'm talking about the argument he's making. I'm looking at Patrick Mahomes over the last 6 weeks throwing over 300 yards, including a 400-yard game. I'm talking about the performance in the immediate moment What Max did was then say, okay, yeah, this is what we're seeing. But look at all the riches that Patrick Mahomes has. Now, has he gotten on me when I said, wait a minute, Patrick Mahomes got Tyreek Hill.
Hold up.
Travis Kelce, and all of these boys.
You saying
You sat up there and said,
there is not close.
whether Tyreek Hill was the best receiver in football.
Mr.
You
Aaron
talked about
Rodgers.
Travis Kelce not being the best tight end in football. That was you. You did that.
Yeah, but by the way, Kittle's hurt, right? Like, this year, Travis Kelce is. Look, you are Mr. Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers has 39 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Has a higher completion percentage, and Patrick Mahomes is coming off a 3-interception game. So, right now, at this moment, this is the time for you to come out and support your guy.
I got Q-tips,
The two of you.
I got Q-tips. I actually unclogged my ears and listen. I'm not saying that your argument was wrong. I'm saying the very argument that you're using to make your point is what you maligned everybody for using for years.
Mahomes,
That's my point.
Before, not only did Mahomes have more touchdowns, fewer interceptions, more yards, better touchdown-interception ratio, and a better one-loss record, he didn't have a 3-interception game.
That wasn't your argument.
When Rodgers got the numbers.
All right. The two of you.
Start to bring this stuff in.
Lewis.
The two of you. We're doing a duet. You're both doing a duet like Fred and Sarah
All
today.
over the place.
Okay.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live
You guys gotta watch this so you can learn how to argue.
subscribe to ESPN Plus.
All right. Well, Shannon, do you like how open he was talking about the MVP?
I do not, because contrary to what people think going in the beginning of the season, be it Super Bowls, MVPs, All-Pro teams, Pro Bowl skip, guys set that on the list. They want that. Now, very few guys are willing to openly talk about it, like Aaron just sat there and had a casual conversation, and he was very relaxed. Skip, if you looked at him, Skip, if you didn't know better, if I didn't see that Green Bay stuff behind him, I thought he was at home having a conversation with some of his boys, or talking to someone from and doing an article about him, an interview with him.
It felt like it was the off-season.
Yeah. He was very casual, very matter of fact about, we mean a lot to him. And it was, because he's 6 touchdowns away from his career high. And we don't normally see guys hit career highs this late in their career. Now, we see guys might have a career game.
Yeah.
And then you can have a game here or there. But he threw, one year he threw, I think, 45 touchdowns and had 4 picks, 5 picks. And so he
45 to 6.
Again, with 3 games left, all he needs is 6 touchdowns to tie his career high 7 to break it. So for me, Skip, he's in that discussion. He was always going to be in that discussion, and that's expected of him. And he mentioned it. There are not very many guys that won 3, Skip. You got Peyton at 5, and then Brady, Favre, United, and Jim Brown with 3. So to Aaron Rodgers say to add my name to that list, yes. And he also said that he thinks he should live up to what it stands for as an acronym. You know, a person who is valuable to their team, and I feel like that's why I'm in that conversation every single year, basically. So for me, Skip, I believe it's a 2-man race. Aaron Rodgers has been spectacular, and he talked about some of the reasons why he believed it is. Second year in the system, because Skip Bayless tells me, so I don't want any excuse for why Tom Brady is not playing up to his standards, because Aaron Rodgers had 1 year in the system, and you didn't give him any concessions. You didn't give him any breaks. So I don't want to hear anybody that's thinking about getting a break in the first year of a new system when they've been in another system for their entire career. So with that being said, it's coming down to him and Mahomes. These last 3 games is going to be most important because both teams are the number 1 seed. Mahomes is 12-1, 23. So things are close with the exception of touchdown. Rodgers is 6 clear, interceptions 1 apart. Mahomes is 500 yards ahead. But Aaron Rodgers is very comfortable. He feeling real good. If everybody had 2 fingers of old Scott before he got there, tequila. Everybody had everybody had 2 fingers of tequila. Relaxed it. But he's playing well. He's playing very well.
So, I heard my man across the table take a half step down the right road on this topic, but then you step back and you continue to defend your man Aaron Rodgers.
It's hot. It's hot.
This was the classic
It's hot.
of why Aaron Rodgers
It's
is
hot.
Tom Brady. Tom Brady, no matter what year, this year, 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, never in his career would he have taken that bait from the media with 3 games remaining, with home field still hanging in the balance with only 1 bye per conference this year. Not only did Aaron Rodgers talk about MVP, he embraced it and began to campaign for it, how much it meant, how he got robbed in these other years.
I don't know if he necessarily got robbed because I thought Peyton had a better year in 2012. That's the you believe Peyton should have won his first year in Denver with AP won.
Okay, but he's chalking that one up to AP running wild on them in the final game and leaving that last impression in the voters' mind.
AP ran wild with that.
Okay. And just for the record, in 2016, Aaron did lead the league in touchdown passes, but Matt Ryan led the league in QBR, and you correctly predicted, because you had inside information on the show, you predicted he would win the MVP, and he did. And by the way, Pro Football Focus in 2016 ranked this guy named Brady, who was then up in New England, as having the best grade in pro football. #1 quarterback in performance that year, according to Pro Football Focus, was Tom Brady. So I don't think Aaron has much of an argument about 2016, but he said, I didn't even get a sniff. Didn't even get a sniff up. Okay. So, to me, it is so Aaron, who is the LeBron James of the National Football League, it is so Aaron to kick back and relax and all but campaign for MVP.
Hey, campaign
with 3 games remaining. They got Carolina this Saturday at home. Should be able to win that one.
Goddamn, Cyberpunk, you might be getting refunded for some Madden. Because they're making a good case for Madden on this shit.
They're going to come to play that day.
Yeah, they will.
So you have potential to lose a couple of these games. And right now, you're 10-3, as is New Orleans. New Orleans has a very tough game, obviously, Kansas City on Sunday. They are home underdogs on Sunday. And by the way, they play the 15th toughest or easiest schedule remaining, so it's pretty tough for them. I'm sorry, they're the 24th. So New Orleans is up against it. So Green Bay's in the driver's seat. They should be. The Rams are 9-4. Seattle's 9-4.
But Seattle's the Rams played them again, right?
Yeah, but you cannot slip up here.
No.
You cannot take your eyes off the prize and start talking about an individual award, and you started to say that your first line out of your mouth was